Okay, last but not least, our final guest today is Dorothy Sage. Dorothy and her husband moved to Colorado in 1963 and to Boulder in 1975. Dorothy and her family were always interested in antiques and historic preservation. Dorothy served on the board for Historic Boulder for 9 years, and she was the chairperson for the annual meeting, which is typically held at the Boulderado in February. Dorothy, I remember you telling me a heartwarming story about the time you attended our afternoon tea with your daughter-in-law and grandchildren. What would you like to share with us about that?
Well, that was one very memorable occasion. It's probably not surprising that with a family interest in antiques and historic preservation and historic buildings, that whenever we thought of celebrating something special like a birthday or graduation or anything like that, we often thought of Hotel Boulderado. And when our children, who had grown up in this area, left because of jobs in other states, they always wanted to stop back at the hotel when they were here. Luckily, our second son and his family, who moved to Illinois, were always able to come back to Boulder at least in December. And about 12 years ago, I think it was, my daughter-in-law and I decided to do some last-minute shopping and then have lunch at the Boulderado. And when we were here, she noticed that there was to be a tea on the mezzanine the next Saturday. And she said, "Oh, I'd love to go to that." And I said, "I would too." And so she remembered too that our granddaughter, Lindsay, loved tea parties. She said, "Oh, we can take her." And Lindsay was almost 7 at that time. And I said, "Well, let's make reservations," which we did. We went home and told the rest of the family our plans. And right away, my grandson said, "I want to go to the party too." And I said, "Well, this is mainly for women and little girls." "No, I want to go too." So I thought, well, sure, why not? So we got all polished up the next Saturday and got here to the hotel a little bit early. And that was very nice because we went to the lobby, and the tree in the lobby, of course, for years, I think, has just reached way, way, way up there. Our granddaughter said, "It has to be 100 feet tall." And my grandson, "I think it's 300 feet. So we enjoyed that and all the decorations and watched the musicians get ready to perform. And the waiters and waitresses were scurrying around on the mezzanine. And so when the food was brought out, the young waiter began to describe what all was on the different levels. And when he got to cucumber sandwiches, my grandson looked at his mother and said, "I'd really rather have a PJ." And I thought, a PJ? Well, the waiter looked down at him. He was very tall, and he got way down and said, "Young man, I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree, that would be good." And so a few minutes later, he came back, and sure enough, he had a little plate, had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on it, cut in little triangles. And our grandson said, "Oh, thank you." And I thought, well, the Boulderado has done it again. They always come up with something wonderful. It was a memorable day.